Do it.
Well, happy end of Gregorian calendar, last day, and we get to be with you on the last day. What a blessing and a privilege. We're going into a new Parsha. I mean, we just started the book of Exodus, Shemot. We've just started that book, but we're in Vayera, Exodus 6:2, 9:35. Just quick house cleaning. Hello to replayers, right, Brenda? Hey.
Oh, we love you. All of
We
you who are
love you
watching
all,
on the
watching,
replay,
listening.
thank you. Those of you that are listening on the podcast, we just want to tell you that our hearts are with you, even though this might be a time, a little bit different of a time frame. Our hearts are with you. And we know that whatever the Holy One is going to be speaking today, it's for you at whatever time you're watching this, because that's just how good he is. So we just want to make sure that you feel loved and welcomed and embraced. You're part of all of this, all of you, the ones that are able to be here live and the ones that are able to watch the replays or listen on podcast. We appreciate you. We love you.
Yay. We love you all. All of you ladies all over the world. We have ladies coming in today. I can just off the glance right here, I'm seeing ladies from Canada hopping in. We always have ladies hopping in from South Africa. If you're coming in if you're watching on Facebook, even on the replay or listening, would you just comment, or would you just tell us where you're listening from? That does our heart good. We want you to know that we see you, and we want to be able to shout out to you and say how much we love you and we appreciate you. Right. Many of you have seen, we have exciting things. This is an exciting month. We have the Creation Gospel conference coming up. And for those of you who are already in a Creation Gospel course, you already know, like phenomenal, amazing, fun teachings from Dr. Halisa Alwine. And so this conference is going to be great for those of you who are like, maybe you're in a course or you've already done a course, and you're maybe even have friends and you're trying to explain to them what it is. You're like, I can't explain it. I don't know how to get it. This is going to be a great foundation. This is going to be a great foundation week, because obviously this is like a 3-month class. We're doing it in 4 nights and then 1 night of question and answers. It's going to be more foundational to get you excited, to give you a foundation so you can step into the next class coming up, which will have that information at the end available for you. You can step in there with Keisha, and Keisha Gallagher will be team teaching with Halisa, and it'll be great because you can step in and you already have a foundation. Brenda, do you remember just your thoughts when you first stepped into the Creation Gospel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything. I'm like, I don't even know. I thought I know nothing.
I know nothing.
Yeah,
I know nothing.
Pretty much.
Pulling up
yeah. But it was good, and it really starts. For me personally, just the way that I think, it took me a little bit of time before I was able to actually process the information, well. So a lot of it was just like receiving information, and I was kind to myself, and I would recommend that to everyone whenever we're learning something new, or whenever we're studying, when we're really studying. Don't worry about it. I mean, study, of course, press in, of course, prepare, of course. But if it's not registering, relax, because it's by the Spirit that we learn, guys. It's not by the words and our intellect. If that's where we're going, it's a mess. It's not about increasing our intellect. It's about knowing him in our spirits, having communion with him and having intimacy with him. And that's the purpose of the Creation Gospel. And it may seem that because it's so much information, it may seem that it's just about learning information. And there is that process too, of course. But it's really about having intimacy with the Holy One. So I just want to give you all, anyone who might feel like it's a little over their head, don't worry about it. It's all good.
It's over all of our heads. It's okay.
It's over. Seriously. Hello, I'm missing you. Where'd you go?
Oh, right here. I had to go grab I'm working off of a hotspot, so I realized my phone's going dead, and we do not want that to happen. I'm going to read. Robin helps us with some of our sales and marketing, and she came up with this. And she loves the Creation Gospel, Robin Bales. And I want to, you guys know her from her and Jen on Thursday nights. She wrote this out yesterday, and you'll be seeing it in some of our the pages and things that we do for this conference. But she said, with everything going on in the world today, have you wondered what this all means? Your soul's crying out for understanding that seems just beyond your reach, and your heart desires wisdom, but the chaos is causing hopelessness. people seem unhinged and you think surely this will end, you know, the answers are hidden in the pages of the Word of God, and that's possibly sat dusty on your shelf, not because you don't love it, but where do you even begin? Something in you believes that there has to be more, if only you could just find it. Take heart. You're right. Come with us to explore the creation gospel message hidden in plain sight from the beginning of the 7 days of creation to the 7 spirits of God, the 7 holy feasts, and the 7 assemblies of Revelation. These thematic keys will unlock the word and make way more of this Holy Spirit to permeate it into your life. So if you're looking to grow in your walk with the Lord and unlock the word and all the layers in depth, then this is a really great study for you. I thought that was just really good because it made me feel like, yes, because a lot of people don't understand. She's just not going through the 7 days of creation. But as you unlock and you teach these things like chiasms, maybe you've never heard that word before, and you'll hear us throw that out every once in a while. Maybe you're new. I love, Brenda, you said, just let it wash over you. Just sit through it. So you can come with us. We want you to come and sit live. We have an opportunity. If you're in the cafe membership, all the videos are free to you. They're all going to be in there. They'll be posted by the next day. If you're not, and I'm not interested in a membership, we do have that video package available that you can get. I recommend just sit back and enjoy it, and then go back and rewatch it and take your notes, right? So sit back and let it wash over you.
Yes.
I would say audit, if going through college, I audit the class and be like, yeah, this is cool. And then come back and then rewatch it. And then now I'm going to jump in. And a lot of you have heard me say that, like even Dr. Dye's course. I'm like, just audit, sit back and listen, let it wash over you. Yeah. So thanks, Brenda. Give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace. Yeah. If you're curious, go jump in on our, you can go to our website, therooted.cafe.com. It's with a K, K-A-F-E. Check that 7-day free trial out. Go in there, check a few things out, and you can kind of see, because not only just for this conference, but if you're like, this is a year I need to just level up. I want to make an investment in my growth in the word. I want to understand things. Like I hear Brenda and Charlie and Jen and Robin, and I'll hear people like, Kim Allen jump in and say things, or I'll hear other people jump in and say things. And I'm like, I just want to know, how do they know those things? We'd love to help show you. And it's not too hard, right, Brenda?
Nope, it's not too hard. No. And it's just lovely. We just have a great community. We love all of our communities. So
I think that's the best part, is the community. I mean, we have exceptional, amazing instructors from, world. I mean, people, and all the names, they're in there. Yeah. We don't even need a name drop. We have all the good people. And so we have great people teaching. So this story, Brenda, we both kept saying,
I'm a little
I need another week.
I'm a little undone. I need another week.
I need another week to get ready for today, you guys. So here we go. We'll see how we go.
We'll see
how far we get. How far we get. And then we may open it up for you guys to jump in on this one, because literally it's interesting. We both got stuck on the same thing.
Yes, we did. Yeah, we did. And we haven't had a chance to talk because I have had company. So I haven't even been available. So you and I have not had a chance to talk since, like last week. So this morning when we got on, Charlie's talking. I'm like, oh my gosh, look at my notes. That's exactly what I have here. The same words, everything. It's beautiful. I am delighted. Can I just tell you that it feels to me like this is the day that the Holy One is saying, you may think that I don't recognize you. You may think that you are just one of the millions, but he's saying today, I see you. I'm for you. Wait until you see what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you in a way that you and your generations will never be able to say that you are not greatly loved. This is happening. I mean, it's a lot going on. And I'm just thinking about his heart and how in his heart, he is like, I know this is going to be hard, guys. What a good dad, right? I know this is going to be hard, but you are going to appreciate it later. So let's go.
I mean, I'm sitting here shaking my head because you don't know my notes, and we didn't even talk about this. So the first thing I have all in red before we jump into 6 is I want to do a backup, just a quick review. And basically I want to say exactly what Brenda just said.
Oh, okay.
So the reason that this book is not called The Great Story, The Building of a Nation, it's not, why is it not called the Passover, Pesach? Why is it called Shemot, the names? Is it, what are all the reasons? And I sent an email out for you, and y'all should be opening those emails, because you don't have to agree with me, but I hope I stir some stuff up inside of you, or maybe you're like, oh, that was cute, that would made me laugh. But I've been trying to write a couple at least a week out to you guys. So open your emails, look for it's Charlie at the Ruta Cafe. Add me to your contacts so it doesn't end up in spam.
By the way, they are really good, Charlie. By the way,
oh, thank you.
You know that
I'm having fun. I'm just sharing what I'm learning. I'm stealing bread. I'm like stealing the bread from other people and then reserving it, putting butter on it.
Share the bread. Pass the basket. Just pass the basket, sis. That's all you need to do.
I'm just saying, I think I read this in like Israel Bible Institute or something, and we're talking about this, is that here's this thing is happening. And it wasn't just even about his name. He's saying, he's given this name before, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but he's given the Yod He Vav He, he's given that name before. This isn't the first time they've ever heard that name. And I'll give you the scripture verses to go back, because all the patriarchs have heard this name before. It's not new, but they're going to learn it in a different way. So that's one thing. But the other thing is this: there was a covenant made with Abraham, right? There's this covenant made with him saying that you're going to be as numerous as the stars. You're going to be so uncountable. And what I think is beautiful about this being called the Book of Names is because I think he's saying that I know your name. Because Pharaoh may say you're so numerous, we can't name you or count you, but I can, because I know the hairs on your head. I can name you. I know your name, and I hear your cries. You're not too numerous for me, because I know who you are. And I believe, and there's other midrashes, I know there's a couple other rabbis that believe this, that those 3 signs, when he took those elders away from last week, he goes to the elders and he's like, well, what if they don't believe me? What if they can't, what if they're not going to listen? And he says that I want you to throw your rod down, make it a snake. Then I want you to put your hand in to make it a leopard. Then I want you to get some of the water, and I want you to turn it to blood. Now, a lot of us have been mesmerized by this, and it's kind of like that lullaby thing and I was listening, I think, to Rabbi Foreman last night. I was cracking up, because it's like, have you guys like really listened to some of the lullabies you sang to your children?
Horrible.
Like, rock-a-bye baby on the treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the bough breaks, the cradle will fall, and down will come baby cradle and all. And we sing that to our children to put them to sleep. And it's this lullaby effect that, and like about the spider coming up on the tuck, whatever, that all these, look at those, the things that we've said over and over. What are they called? The little stories our children about the little girl sat on a tuck
rhymes
away, all the nursery rhymes.
Mm-hmm.
They're horrible. The baby falls out of a tree, and like, who says that to their kids, right? But we've said it so much that we're just lulled by it, like, oh, we'll just say it. And a lot of the same thing happens. Think about some of the worship songs. I want to challenge you there. Don't be lulled. You went there. The words you might know. Listen to some of the words you might be singing. Listen to some of the things you might be saying. Even, I mean, if there's radio songs and you're like, well, this isn't harmful, think about the words you're speaking into existence. So with that being said, I think that we forget that. Let's ask the questions. Why did he do these 3 signs? What were these 3? There had to be a significance to these. And I looked up a couple of midrashes. I'm not going to stay on this, Bren, but the 3 signs, the number one thing this is him, this is the Holy One telling the people, I see you and I hear you. And the elders would have known it. Why? Because the rod turned to snake, because they had been reduced to creepy crawly things, that they were so numerous that they were like crawly things, that they had been told. And I'm sure that had been spoken over to them, what snakes they were, what crawly things they were. I mean, I sent out an email today, how to get away with murder. I mean, that's how you do it. That's how Pharaoh did it. That's how Hitler did it, is you reduce a population to a creepy crawly thing, to a rat, to a snake, to crawling things. So he's telling them that I'm in control of that. He's telling him to hand the leper that I saw the babies. I saw death. I'm the one who has power over the death. I've seen the death that's happened, and I can reverse that, and I can vindicate that. And then we see the water to blood. We see him taking that water from the Nile. I know those babies that you think that just got thrown in there and no one knew about them. I know the blood. I'm going to redeem the blood. I'm going to redeem those babies that were thrown in there. I know their names. Yes. And I believe, And I'd love for you to go in there and check, what do you think those 3 things meant? But that's what I believe. I believe that he used those terms, that this is to describe all the things that they would have said. I've known what's happening to you. These weren't magic tricks, ladies. He wasn't saying, here's some magic tricks you can get and send away for $99.99 and you too can have this box of tricks. That's not what these were. These had to be for something. So what do you think? What have you read? What have you been taught? I want to know. I want you to share those with us in comments, email me. I want to know, because what I feel like is it was a way of him saying to these elders, I've heard your cries. You're not too numerous. I know your names and I'm redeeming you and I'm going to vindicate you. And when they saw that all happening, they were like, okay, I hear you. Okay, let's go. Let's do this.
And we noticed too that the magicians only could replicate, not everything, but they could replicate, but all they're doing is increasing the hardship on their people. You realize that, like, when they duplicated the blood, it was increasing the hardship. When they duplicated now I'm like going over, where's my Pesach notes? when they were duplicating the different
all the signs,
you know what I'm talking about.
All the signs, every sign,
except what the gnats they couldn't do. But when they were duplicating, all they did was increase the hardship. That really got me this week. It's like, you know, if Pharaoh was really as powerful as he said he was, if those people were really as powerful as they said they were, wouldn't they stop what was happening?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
really cool that you said that, because that's one of the things they talk about, even in the name, and we'll jump there, is in this name. One of the things that is Midrashic and rabbis are saying is, in the understanding of who this God was, they're understanding that he is the God that knows when to say it is enough.
Yes.
And immediately was thought, he's the God who stops the ocean and says it's enough. You can stop right here. He was the God who could stop it and reverse it. They couldn't stop it. They could just replicate it.
Yeah, that's very good, Charlie. That's really
He was the God this was the God he was telling them, and he's telling Pharaoh, I'm the God who knows when it's enough. He's the God who, when I was creating, I knew to stop the duplication so we don't have 45 arms. I know when it's enough.
8
I'm
eyes.
the one who's in control. I don't just start this thing and we just continue on evolving, and then he knows when it's enough. Like, we don't have more eyes or more ears. We don't have any of those things.
Right.
We haven't continued on evolving for that purpose, but what he knows when it is enough. Enough is enough, and this is where we're stopping.
Yes,
exactly. I see Mary Catherine says he is the ultimate boundary setter. Yes,
I saw that. That's a really
awesome.
Good. That's
so we
really
have
good.
This name, and it's we see the letters Yod Hey Vav Hey, and he says, "This is who I am," and we're going to hear, "I am that I am. I am who I am. I'm the." So we hear this is a multi-dimensional name, and I'm going to warn you, and I may offend you, so please love me. If you hear or you think you know exactly how to say this name, I caution you. Because I think none of us know how to say it right. It's the name we shouldn't speak of, right? It's a name we shouldn't say, maybe. It's just saying, here's the letters, but I don't really know how to say it because I don't even know the dimensionality of all this, but this is all I know. So I would just caution you that if you're going to ground your faith into exactly how a name is said, step back from that for a minute and just present that to the Holy One. And then if he says, yep, that's what I want you to do, you'd be like, okay, moving forward. But if I just want you to just be careful that you're not grinding your doctrine, again, a doctrine, into how something is pronounced or what something is, because I feel like then we step into a Pharisee or a Sadducee role that we have to be really careful that we don't want, that we want our heart to be aligned with, is that how you want me to say it? And if he says yes, then be like, that's how I'm saying it, because he'll let you know. Right, Bren?
I agree. I totally agree. Yeah.
I said it. I went there. Let's go a lot of places today.
I know. I love it. And and can we just say that that we love you guys? And if you have that conviction, stand with your conviction. If you have a different conviction, stand with your conviction. Be strong. Wait a minute. Be strong. Be strengthened. Oh wait, that's the parsha this week. in who he is creating you to be. And at the same time, ladies, love.
Yes.
Love, love, love,
thank you.
love, because in your strength, you don't want to be running over people and killing them with your knowledge or your or your insights that maybe somebody else hasn't come up to yet.
Yes.
So
yes.
That's kind of
I
what
love
we're
that.
saying.
And we see Kim over here. Kim, I'm 100% in agreement with you, and I'm in alignment with sages. They all say, they don't say the name. That's why you're going to hear us say Hashem, Adonai, the Holy One, the Creator, the Eternal One. You'll see in your King James version, most versions, it's capital, all capitals, Lord, Lord. So for those of you who are beginners, just know that in your Bible, when you see those capital letters, know that it is actually replacing those 4 letters, those Hebrew letters. And you know, I said earlier, this isn't brand new, and he's saying, I'm going to introduce, you're going to know the name that no one knows. Well, and we're like, this should be a question. You shouldn't have been lulled by this. Have you asked the question? Wait a minute. Nobody else knows this name. Not true. Genesis 14:22, Abraham says, I lifted up my hands to Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh. Isaac in Genesis 27:7 says, and I will bless you before Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh. Jacob in Genesis 27:20, when he's saying, how'd you get all this so fast? He tells his dad, Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh made it happen quickly for me. So they know this guy. They know this name. This isn't a new name. So what is he saying? This isn't new. But we're thinking of that. You know, we see back to Genesis 17:1, it says, and Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh appeared to Avram and said, I am El Shaddai. Walk before me and be perfect. Now, I'm going to tell you, I've never questioned this before. I've lulled through this. It's been my Sunday school felt board that I just said, yep, that's how it is. And I just bobble-headed through it. And this year I stopped and I did some research, and I went into, who did I get this from? Because I want to give everyone credit. I know it was Rabbi Foreman and Aleph Beta. I'm pretty sure this is through Aleph Beta. And I watched this video, one of their cute little cartoons, and I just adored this. And I screenshotted it, and I thought I probably shouldn't share this because I feel like I pay for a subscription. So I'm pretty sure it's proprietary. So I probably should do that. So I'm going to tell you the term. It's interesting when he says, I want you to walk before me through like El Shaddai. They knew a God who, and I'm like, we're supposed to, he teaches, how do you walk before him? I want you to see the picture of a shepherd with a sheep. The sheep walk before a shepherd, and the shepherd just kind of guides them. And then the last sheep will kind of, through his peripheral vision, see where the shepherd is. And then he bumps the next one, and then they bump the next one, and then they guide them. And that's how a shepherd doesn't go in front of the sheep. A shepherd stays in the back. So they know him. They've seen him as my shepherd. They've seen that he was the God who's been my shepherd before. My God, that's how he's seen it. I wrote my little cute notes. Let me see if I can read this better. But he had not appeared to them in that same way. He was going to appear to them now as a new way of this shepherd. He was actually going to appear to them in this, a whole new dimension from this Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh that he had not shown them. That he now is going to say, I'm going to walk with you and before you. And that would have been a whole new thing, because before they were being pushed like sheep. And now he's saying, I'm going to come in, and because guess what? Isn't he going to dwell? He's going to make a tabernacle and dwell amongst them. This is all new. They're going to know him in a whole new way. That's right. You're going to yada him. Bren, do you want to talk? Do you have input on that a little bit about the word yada?
It's the yada is to know, but it's not an intellectual knowledge. It's an intimate knowledge. Yes. It is an experiential. It's hands. It's touching. It's feeling. It's experiencing with your senses. It's knowing from experience, not from just being told something.
No, it's very intimate.
From something far away.
We use it in a marriage terminology. The intimacy between a marriage.
It's the word that's used for when a husband and wife know each other and then they have a baby.
Yeah.
And we have kids here. So that is it. It's the knowledge.
That's the word yada.
That yada, and that's the word. And it's beautiful. It's entering into a revelation by the hands. That's, if you take the letters apart, you're going to kind of see that it's the hands that are taking you into the doorway, into revelation. It's the hands that are moving you through. In other words, it's experience. It's the experiential loving and knowing. Yeah. So it's not a far away. It's not a far away God. It's not a God that we think of far away, that's not present here with us right now. He is echad. All of these are layers and we don't really understand them. They don't even allow us to like see the depth of it. But all of this is deep, deep, deep layers upon layers upon layers upon layers. And that's what this is. This intimate knowledge is that experiencing it and absorbing it into you, and it changes you. It changes everything about you. Charlie, I'm telling you, this Torah portion is about, radical change. It's such a radical Torah portion.
Or not.
Blowing our mind.
What happens when we don't? The consequence and the limitations if you don't say, yes, I'll make the change.
Yeah. Then you are left to be, one of the drones. Oh, oops. I got it. There we go. Okay. Yeah, it's just, yep. Yeah, this is what he wants for us, guys. He wants intimacy. And it's just like with your kids, you want to know them. You don't want to just know about them. You don't want to just know that they have brown hair or brown eyes or black hair or blonde hair. You don't want to just know about them. You want to know them. What do they think? What do they feel? How do they respond? And this whole thing, and Charlie, you're going to get into this. I'm excited to hear what you have to say about this too, but this whole thing with hardening Pharaoh's heart, which is really a crux of what's going on here in this Torah portion, it is about the experiential. It's an experiential thing. It is not an intellectual knowledge. It is experiential. It's like, this is this hands-on strengthening of your will. And what I love about that is that God didn't force him to behave like what we're thinking of,
No,
not a forced thing. He's not forcing him to do anything. He is bringing us about. And that's what Yadah is. Yadah is bringing about this ability for us to have intimate connection, truth, actual information, not information, actual communication, and that's really like the overview of this Parsha. So I'm sure that you all got that when you were reading this. It's like,
well, and I hope that my heart is that you have the words of Yeshua just jumping ringing. I hope you know by now, and if you're new, I'm going to say it, just it's worth repeating. At least 90% of everything Yeshua said is a direct quote from your, I'll just say the Talmud. It's through the Torah, it's through the Torah, it's through a Psalm, it's Isaiah. I mean, he's quoting, there's nothing, he's not sending a whole bunch of, everything he's redirecting us. So I'm praying that things just pop up off the page. And when we can, we'll try to bring some little because that's fun for me. I love saying, oh, hyperlink. We see in 6:9, he says, Brenda, that they couldn't hear because of their broken spirit and the bonded. And I looked that up, and I looked up like what was the anguish, and that word for anguish is the Hebrew word katser. And it's Hebrews 7:114, so H7114 for our studiers who want to go back and look this up. But it was interesting to see the English trends, the English Strongs, or if you go in and look at the Brown's dictionary, it was to be shortened, which was interesting to me. I filed this right here. I didn't put depth into it, but it was just interesting. But it means to be cut off like wheat being harvested, like it's just cut, it's cut down. So that is kind of to be made short, right? So, I mean, thinking of things of like counting the omer when we're watching things grow, but it's cut short. But what popped in my head is here their spirits were cut off. Their spirits were katser. They were made short. And I was thinking about that mentality that they couldn't hear because their spirits were katser. Brenda, we see the spies couldn't see because they were katser. They saw themselves as katser. We'll see the spies saying, we're like grasshoppers. We're little.
We're little. They're big. We're little. Who told you that?
Who told you that? Who told you were cut, Sarah? Yeah, their spirits were cut off. And then it says, because of the bondage, which was abad, H 5647, and that's labor reduced to servitude. We're going to keep hearing this. We're going to see their perception as bondage even in the desert. That we, like we've said last week, it was, getting them out of Egypt was not a big deal. Getting Egypt out of them, now that's going to be
that's a whole different process.
Yeah. And then it's going to be like, yeah, well, we couldn't get Egypt out of you, so your kids can come in, right? But getting Egypt out of them may take 2 generations. And I've been working on really praying, and we won't get to that, but that's one of the things of our growth and in my family, even with my daughter, we've been really working on generational things that we really want to put an axe to the root. We want to put an axe to the root. We want to cut the things off that shouldn't go to the next generation. And we want to feed and grow the things that we want to go to the next generation. And so we're going to see that this happening. This is a process that's happening. It's not that he was being mean to them, but he's saying, we need to get this out of this generation, because perception of themselves they couldn't even hear. They couldn't hear because of that.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't hear.
Right.
So they couldn't say Hineni. They couldn't even say that because they couldn't
so
hear.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
We hear, and then they saw themselves as servants. They had taken on the identity, is what I wrote, is they had taken this identity on as servants. Just because of what you do doesn't mean that's who you are. It's just what you do. This is what I do, but it's not who I am. It's what I do. And they saw them as that. And that's why I believe that should be a hyperlink, that we hear Yeshua saying that, listen, you're not hearing. I want you to hear me speak, because my yoke is not abad. It's light.
Yes.
It doesn't cut you off. It doesn't make you small. I want you to see yourselves as not being in bondage. And I feel like they instantly would have been taken back to this Parsha and said, oh, because if I don't see it that way, I can't hear. I can't Shema.
Yeah. And that's what Yeshua says, like in John, where is it? John 14. He's like, he's telling his followers, don't let your heart be troubled. What he's referencing is the fact that he just told them that he was leaving and he was going to be gone. Why can't I follow you? Why can't I come with you? I don't want to leave you. I don't want to be left behind. And he's saying, listen, don't worry. Don't let your heart be troubled. Trust me. You trust in God. How do they trust in God? Because of this. This always is referencing us back to this. Yes. And Charlie Sombra mentioned that.
Yeah, I saw that as correction. Okay. Yeah, we want to make that correction. As I said, Talmud, I should have said Tanakh. Yeah. I'm just saying you were taking back to the entire package. He's back, or we'll say Old Testament. He's quoting Old Testament.
That's what he's doing.
Tanakh. So yeah.
Yes, Tanakh. Yeah, it was just a simple. I mean, I heard you what you were saying, not what you said. But somebody else may not. So thank you.
But we're going to see lots of people not hearing. This is the hearing. This is all about what we're hearing. And we're going to jump into the next thing. Is this Pharaoh's heart? The reason why did Pharaoh, why couldn't he hear?
And I love what you said about the, broken spirit. So why are you not hearing the broken spirit, Charlie? You said, is it from a broken spirit? Is that why? Is it from the fact that you are engaged with all of these gods of the world?
Yeah.
And they are taking up all of your time and energy. And if you think that that's not happening today, come on, guys, pay attention. They are alive and living right now.
May it be revealed to you this Shabbat, because I mean, that is the reason we see Pharaoh's heart. Pharaoh's heart is hardened. And Brenda, we're going to go through the 2 different words for hardened, but the reason Pharaoh's heart needed to be hardened, we'll use an English term, was because God wasn't after, he was after. We see the Holy One is not only is he wooing a nation to say, I'm the one you want to follow. We see peacocking where the peacocks have the big feathers, or he was saying, look at me, I can no hands on my bike. The kids try to get the girlfriend like when they're little, look at me, I don't have no hands. Look, or look what I can do on my skateboard. I can do the jump. Look at me, look at me. I mean, Please, I'm not reducing our Father to that, but I'm just saying he's trying to woo a bride.
Yeah,
that's happening. This is dimensional.
He's loving.
Not only that, but he's trying to say, Pharaoh, I don't want you to just give up and just say, whatever, go. He's trying to woo. He's trying to get Pharaoh to change the vision. His vision isn't, look at all these gods. His vision isn't, well, this God takes care of this. And my horses, I got my chariots. I've got this. He was after him trying to release that vision and change the vision that there is one God. And I don't need to trust in my horses and chariots. I don't need to trust in the God of the Nile, the God of the sun, the God of fire, the God of ice, the God who brings the crops. I don't need to appease all these gods. I just want to submit to the one true God, because if I can submit to him and I submit to that happens, all the chaos, I don't have to juggle all these things.
Right.
But the chaos, he's the God who knows when it's enough. He's the one who brings order to the chaos. Yeah. That's what he was trying to change his vision.
Charlie, this is like a salvation message. I mean, so big. This is like, and look at what he did to get Pharaoh's attention and the people of Egypt. You realize he wasn't going to just transport his chosen few out and he could have if he wanted to. Just take them out. Just take them back to the land where
the magic carpet. Here it
goes. Let's go. It's all
Each
good.
Each family gets a carpet. Let's just go.
He wanted to show himself mighty so that the Egyptians and Pharaoh specifically would see who he was.
Yeah, and want to come.
How beautiful. And they did. A lot of them did.
Sister, when you're saying that, instantly that popped in my heart. All you just heard, and you, like you said, the Egyptians and the Hebrews and you, there's a reason that we practice this every year during Pesach, because he's saying this wasn't just the Egyptians. This wasn't just for Pharaoh. This is for you. So look in the camera, everybody. This is for you. He knows your name. He knows that you've been crying out. He knows that sometimes you can't even cry out. You can't even hear him because your bondage is too heavy. You've been through too much. Mm-hmm. You've been too wounded. You see yourself as small. You don't see yourself as able to do it anymore. You're weak in your mind and your body, and you're tired. He sees you and he knows your name. It hasn't gotten too big. The universe isn't too big for him. There's not too many people on the planet for him. He knows you. And this story is for you.
That's right. That's right. This is about your deliverance. It is about the deliverance. The big picture, remember, layers, always layers. But today he is specifically what Charlie just said. He is specifically saying, I want to talk to you.
Yes.
I want you to see what I do with those things that raise themselves up and try to take my place. You think those things are, you think that the government is going to be able to take my place? Do you think that your paycheck is going to take my place? Nope. He's the provider. So what he's saying is all of those things that you hold on to that take care of you, he's saying, I'm going to take care of you. And will he use different things? Yes, he will. Of course. Yeah. He'll use different things to take care of you. That's the way he does things.
Yeah.
But he's saying, I am the one.
Yes.
Look at me,
yes.
Follow me, and I will deliver you, and I will bring healing to you, and I will set you free.
And what are the gods he's breaking down? This should be breaking gods down in your life. I'm going to pray right now. Father, yes, I pray right now that Abba, each one of these signs that we see, that they ignite something in us, that reveal in us a God that we're serving, that is exalting itself above your name. Mm-hmm. Father, that each one of us has different things we're bowing our knees to, whether it's we're bowing our knee to a provision, we're bowing our knee to illness, we're bowing our knee to something, an identity, a perception. Mm-hmm. Father, I ask right now that you reveal to each person listening, You let us know, Father, what isn't. And as women, we rise up as a Zer Kenegdos, that we cut those things out of our house. We rise up like Moshe's wife, and we cut the foreskin off. We rededicate our homes. We remind our families of who we are. We remind our families of who we serve, that we do not bow our knees to other gods, but instead, Father, we stay in the land of Goshen. We put the blood around our doors, and we say, me and my house will be saved. And Father, you're going to reveal the things keeping us from that. And we just thank you, Father. Amen.
Thank you.
I love Kim. Amen. Kim wrote on here, she says that it is, we're taught that everyone's name is in the book. And I think that's, here we are. This is, again, when that's saying your name is written down, this is the book of names. He knows us. You are not insignificant. So stop believing that lie and stop believing it. It is a lie straight from the pit of hell. You are not insignificant. Is there a hell? I don't know. But whatever, that place, the bad place, that's a lie from there. Yeah, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. That's a lie straight from there.
The evil part.
The evil place. The evil part of it. Yeah. So Pharaoh's heart. Really Let's talk about those words. Let's talk about the words. We have we have 2 words, right, Brenda? We have the 2 words. What are the 2 words? We have hazak and kasa. You want to talk about hazak for us? What does that word mean?
You guys will remember this, that every time a book is finished, it says hazak, hazak. It tells you to be strengthened, and may you be strengthened. It's talking about being strengthened. Hazak is a word. It's translated the same way that the other word is. There's 2 words in Hebrew that are being used for the word harden, or harden, or hardened. And the one that is used 8 times in this parsha, 8 times, guys, which is new beginnings, which is it's a cycle that's been completed, and now it's taken you up to the next level. That's what 8 is, right? It's taking you up. 8 times this word is used, and it's strengthened. So what it's saying is, what you have right now, I am going to strengthen what you have. That's why we say it after we read the books. Every time we finish a book of Torah, we say, be strengthened. Why? Because we want to take what we have just gotten, and we want that to strengthen us. That's what the Holy One was doing with Pharaoh. He was strengthening what was already there. He did not want him to be weak-willed, like Charlie referenced this earlier. He didn't want him to get scared of the majesty of God and just give God what he wanted to be done with it. He wanted the change to occur.
Yes.
So he strengthened him so that he could endure. And the first time that it's used, it's really neat. Let me see if I wrote it down. The first time that it was used, I just remember this, so you guys can check up on me and tell me if I'm wrong. Put it in the notes. First time it was used was in Genesis, when during the birthing process. And gosh, I'm thinking that it was, no, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, rewind that. That's the other word is used during the birthing process. This word, the first time it's used, is when Lot and his wife are leaving Sodom, and they are so terrified, they're frozen, and the messengers that are sent grab their hands and strengthen them and uphold them and take them out. That's what this word is talking about. That's strengthened. Isn't that cool?
A really great. It's always, really cool.
Because always go to the first usage. It helps you to
see a bigger picture, right? And the thing is that he's going to make, this whole thing is, he doesn't want, it wasn't about him making him hard, or he was going to make him stubborn. Now that's used a couple times earlier. We see that used 2 other times. That word is used about stubbornness. That word is kasha. That's word used twice. That's very negative. But we see this hazak. He's actually, when we want us, like you were saying at the end, I love when we say hazak, hazak, when we're saying at the end of a book, because we want to be encouraged. That's what encourages us. Why? Because if we're encouraged, our vision changes. If we're encouraged by his words, if we're encouraged to move on, we're not encouraged to stay we're not getting tired or beaten down. And if we're encouraged, we'll listen and we can hear. If he was strengthened, he wanted him to not just be like, all right, whatever, just leave, Yeah. Do you guys get that? He was saying, God was saying, I'm going to strengthen him. I want him to hold him up. I don't want, so that he will, then his vision will change, and we'll see it happen in 7. We see his vision start to change in the 7th plague.
Yeah, we sure did.
I want to see it. I want to share I snuck over to Facebook and saw we have our resident ancient Near East expert, Gail Heaton, and she was encouraging everyone, for those of you who are in the cafe, you really want to check out the Parsha points, the challenges on the 10 plagues in the Parsha points, because she does an amazing job going through this, and she's going to give you guys some details and you can dig into this. So I want to just share that. It's super great place for you to find that. But back over to where my notes are. Yeah.
Back over to the notes. So the first time so 8 times it's used. So he's talking about this strengthening thing with Lot and his wife, so that they can actually be delivered from, which is really interesting, to be delivered from that. I just love that, being delivered from from the city that was going to be set on fire in a moment. You know what I'm saying? So he was delivering them from, so that was the strengthening that happened there. And then during 3 times during famine, it was used in Genesis, talking about the famine that was coming in this particular place in Egypt. And then he continues on. But the other one, are we ready to go to the other one?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Kasha. The other one is used twice. Exodus 7:3. It is used in that, and it says, "But I will harden Pharaoh's heart so that I may multiply my signs and wonders." I really think in this moment, what was happening was that the Holy One was stopping him right where he was, so that he couldn't go any further. He was going to let him be stubborn. He was increasing his stubbornness in that moment so that he could go ahead, because he says, so that I may multiply my signs and wonders. There was something that needed to be done. And this was the Holy One addressing the something that needed to be done. But it's only used once there. And then once in Exodus 13:15, and it's translated stubborn. Pharaoh's heart, he was stubborn, and it was Pharaoh talking. It was about Pharaoh's heart being stubborn. All of the other times are him strengthening and saying, hey, I know. Basically what he's saying to Pharaoh's heart all the other 8 times is, look, I know this is getting really tough. You can handle this. We're going to get through this. I'm going to strengthen you. That's what he's doing. Why? There was a purpose for all of this. It wasn't just so that
he didn't want him to give up at 4. He needed to go to 10. He needed to show all the people so they can say, well, he did take care of the god of the Nile. He did get that god, and he did get this god. But, if he really, there's still the other ones he didn't acknowledge. No.
Yes. Very, very true. So I hope that helps some. It's really important that we don't come into this Torah portion thinking that God forced Pharaoh to do what he was doing, that God took away his ability to have freedom of choice. That's really not at all what's happening. And so if that is still like ruminating in your mind, then do a little bit of a word study, or, ask the Holy One, ask the Spirit of God to just speak life to you over this, because that's not what he's doing. That's not what's happening here. What's happening here is he is taking a nation, and he is speaking to an entire nation, the nation of Egypt, this whole nation with all the peoples from all over the world. So that's a clue right there. All the peoples from all over the world are there because that's where they've been, that's where they all culminated. And he's speaking deliverance to them. And he has to do it in such a way that his message can get across. So there's things that he has to do, and that's what's happening here. It's not that he's taking away his choices. He's not. He didn't, like, how can you be mad at Pharaoh? God forced him to do that. No, that's not what he did. He strengthened what was already in his heart. He strengthened what was already there.
He did the opposite.
Yeah, he did.
He made him stronger so that
he made him stronger.
He made him stronger so that he didn't give up.
So he didn't.
He actually gave him the opportunity.
Yeah.
He loved him so much. He gave him the opportunity to change his mind.
Yeah, he did.
To change his vision.
Yeah.
Of what was important. And then we talked about the 7th, and we see that this happening in the seventh sign when we have this hail, and it wasn't regular hail, right, Brenda? It was like fire and ice.
That takes care of 2 things.
Yeah, and I kind of see, it's interesting because I kind of see the cloud of fire, and I think that's a whole nother day. But I mean, I for some reason I got a little vision of that to look at too. But we have this fire god and this ice god, and never the twain shall meet.
No, they didn't get along.
They didn't get along in this all these little g gods. They were battling each other. So if you watch Avengers, you have these avenging two gods, the fire god, the ice gods. They were not Wonder Twin powers activating. They were not those two. That's not what happened. All of you old enough to know what I'm talking about. That is not what happened. Thank you, Somber, for laughing. So I did not feel old. So this is not what happening. We have these two gods now. He's saying that I can make those two gods echad. I'm in control of this. I'm going to put them in one thing, and I'm going to make this hail that's fire and ice.
Right. That's so amazing. It was powerful. Cool? It was powerful. What else is fire and water? Can I just say, you guys?
Go.
Did I steal your thunder? Were you already going to say this?
No.
Fire. What else is fire and water, guys? Hashemayim. Heaven. The word for heaven in Hebrew is fire and water. That's what makes up the word Hashemayim, is fire and water. So it is, because that's who the Holy One is. And so he was saying that over there is not who I am. This is who I am. So he was, man, isn't that so beautiful?
Well, think about that. Like, what does that even mean? I mean, we could, if you sat at our tables, this is the kind of nerdy stuff we do. This is like, we're like, what does that even mean? Hashemayim. He's got fire and he's got ice. I mean, we have cleansing, we have revelation. He's trying to bring a purification. He's trying to bring out the waters of revelation, cleansing. This is all like, I mean, that hail is a picture of cleansing.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was annihilating the things that needed to be annihilated, but it left the things that needed to be left, because remember at the very end, because you guys all read all these 9 chapters, right? So at the very end, it's like, yeah, but the wheat wasn't destroyed. All of the other things that were out, they were destroyed, but he didn't devastate the people and leave them to die. That is not what happened. He's very strategic in the way that he hits things, isn't he, Charlie?
Like Job, you can do everything, but you can't kill him. Don't kill him. So many of you are like, no, Lord, kill me. Like, but he's saying,
or kill them.
Kill them. He's saying, nope, I'm good. I didn't pray that. He's saying, if I'm bringing hail, I'm going to just do it.
Just do it. Whatever it is that you're thinking. Don't beat around the bush.
Hello. I need to get close.
There you are.
Hi. Hello. Listen, sister. If you are tired of being judged by your history, stop telling us about it. If you are tired of all these bad things happening to you, could you take a minute? If you find yourself always saying, this is always happening to me, all these bad things are happening to me, this is not me being insensitive, because sister, I will sit with you and cry with you. Unless you just like a year later, you're still sitting and crying about the same. This is the time of year for some of you who are like, okay, let's make some changes. If you didn't do it Yom Kippur, I'm going to give you a 9 months heads up, or depending on your calendar, 8 months heads up, 10 months, whatever you're at. But I'm going to give you a heads up. I'm giving you some time to be ready for Yom Kippur. Ready? Are you listening? Here's some tips. Stop. Just stop and say, Father, why is this all happening to me? I know you didn't kill me. I know you love me. Why are all these things? Why are you trying to get my attention? You got me. I have my attention. I'm not whining. I'm not complaining. I'm not going to do all those things, because remember, this story is for you. So can we sit and be like, okay, Father, because I have to do this, sis. I have to say, okay, I have to stop whining, my big whiny butt. And Father, why are you trying to get my attention? What do I need to learn out of this? Because I obviously am not hearing you, because I feel small. I feel hurt. I feel wounded, because let's be honest, that's usually what's happening. I feel wounded. My feelings are hurt. Something's going on. And I need you to strengthen my heart so that I can get through this, so that my vision will get changed, so that I can enter into the promise and the covenants that you have in store for me, because somewhere along the line, I lost the vision. And I'm trusting. I heard something, and I don't have permission to share who it was. So I'll just say, I was speaking to someone the other day, and they're dealing with a family member having COVID. They don't have COVID, and they're isolating one to the other so that they try not to share. And so she was going around the house, covering everything with like Clorox wipes, spraying everything, trying to do, wearing the mask, doing all the thing, and then keeping the other person in the other side of the house. And then she told me, I had to stop and ask the Lord to forgive me, because I realized I had put so much trust and faith in all these products. And not that you're not supposed to do any of that kind of thing. There are some practical things, but it had become almost a thing that she trusted in that more, and didn't even spend time praying, saying, Father, thank you for the hedge of protection that you're putting around me, that I'm not going to get sick, that no weapon formed against me shall prosper. I mean, none of those. So what was happening, she was putting her faith and her trust in all these other things, and she's running around trying to make that. I can tell you I've done that. And this is someone that I highly value. And she was like, I had to stop and repent. And I was realizing all the gods, Brenda, in my life that I have put so much trust in.
Can we just talk about that? Let's not move forward from this Parsha, guys, today until we recognize that he's trying to get a hold of our hearts.
Yeah.
There are things in our lives that we are still holding on to, and we are still giving place to.
Yeah.
There are some flies and some cattle and some blood, and there's some things that we're still holding on to. We are not allowing him to be king over all.
I'm going to say it. There's some children that we're putting before everything else.
Yeah, exactly.
Shenanigans. We're letting the tail wag the dog. And I'm laughing, looking at my little vision board up here. I'm looking at my vision board my little vision board that I have to myself. But I'm thinking, isn't that what he's trying to do? He's saying, I'm trying to set a vision before you. I'm trying to set life and death before you. What are you going to choose? Come with me. Come this way. Choose this.
Choose life. Yeah.
We won't even get into the next ones. I mean, how fun the next parts are, and we get to reenact this over and over. But listen. What is it? Are you brave enough that you'll post this in wherever you're watching and listening? Are you brave enough to say, he showed me this? Because maybe if you're brave to do that, you let another woman be brave. We get to bear each other's burdens and say, okay, this yoke is not going to be too hard. I'm casting off my God of provision, because I was worried at one point that the government was going to go into lockdown, and we have part of our income that is a retirement that is government based, and if that locks down, we don't get paid for a few months, and what's going to happen, and and it's like, stop. And I sometimes have to do that. Randy laughs at me because you'll hear me go, stop, because I have to tell myself, I just like stop this brain crazy wheel I run on, because I was bowing to a provision that it was a horse and a chariot.
Yeah.
What is it?
Because all of those things are from, it is his hand that provides for us. It's his hand that allows all of these things to come into our lives. And if none of those things came into our lives, he's still able to provide for us.
Yes.
He isn't required. Those things aren't required for him, but he allows us to have things like, blessings. He allows those things to come into our lives, but you guys, he is able. When we read the word, it needs to, like Charlie was saying earlier, it needs to really change our vision. When we're reading these, I would really encourage you to reread this after we talk today. Reread this Parsha, and I think you're going to see it in a new light. You're going to see things a little bit differently. It's not going to be the mean old gray-haired bearded God who's standing up at the top and shooting lightning down and killing everybody. It's not what's happening here.
No.
What he's doing is he's saying strategically, it's very strategic, and it's always the minimal effect. It's the minimal damage, always. Even with the, like the parting of the Red Sea and the Reed Sea and all of that whole thing, it's minimal damage. It's maximum revelation of who he is. There's a message that he's trying to get across. And that's what happened. And I love that he was trying to get this message across to Pharaoh. And I love the fact that there were a lot of Egyptians that did get it. And they became the children of Israel because they joined their hearts too. They're like, don't you be leaving without me. I'm coming too. You can have all these bracelets, you can have all these earrings, but I'm coming too.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. It's like before this even happened, if you remember from last week, he already made provision for that. He said, yeah, you're going to tell them, we're going to deliver. And oh, by the way, don't forget to tell them that they're going to go ask their neighbors for some stuff.
Yeah.
I don't even ask my neighbor for a cup of like sugar anymore. Like, I don't even know my neighbor's name. Like, and I travel so much, but I mean, I'm not that extroverted. I don't like, I'm like, okay, I know one person's name in the place we're staying right now. And I don't really, it's a job for me to make myself go make friends. Brenda would know everyone's name in this park and their children's names. She would know everybody and their dog. She would know all the things because she loves people like that. I'm like, hi. And then I'm going to go work. So, but I love that we're
takes a village.
It takes a village. I love that we all have gifts and I stay in my lane. So many women are on here saying, I just wish I knew what was holding me back. I wish I knew. Good. That's a good place to start.
That's a good
so
place
let's stop and say, Father, thank you that I know you're going to reveal this to me. Because let's there's a way of us not getting out of that the vision. And I believe that's he's wanting to push us. He wants to change your vision. We're done with the 2020 vision. We're done with 2021. We're going into 2022. We're going Gregorian now, but this is the thing. We're going into this a marked place in our lives that could be considered a good place to get prepared for Yom Kippur. Let's change your vision. If your vision is you're coming from a place of victimhood where you feel like things are always happening to you, how about if your vision changes, this is happening for me. Do I need to say that again?
Say it again.
This is not happening to you.
Right.
Because if it was to you, then you're serving the wrong God because our God is sovereign. If it's happening for you, then you're serving a God who is sovereign. So Father, this is for me. And you've promised me that you're for me, that you're not against me. You've promised me that no weapon formed against me will prosper. You've promised that you're going to work this all out for my good. You are promised me that's part of my inheritance.
Yes.
Is that I get to walk in this. Yeah. So thank you, Father. I'm blind right now, but I'm going to let you either push me from behind because I need to be a sheep right now. But I know you're the God who inhabits. So where do you inhabit? The praises of my people. So I guess I got to praise because I don't feel you. I don't know my vision. I don't know what's happening. So I'm going to start praising, but I'm not going to be a victim. This is not happening to me. Right. So I'm going to encourage, I'm going to push and coach you to all stand and say, I refuse to be a victim anymore. Life isn't happening to me, but for me. And I serve the sovereign God. And I'm no longer going to bow my knee to this God that's making me think things always bad happen to me and that I'm a victim. Because you are not. He knows your name.
Oh, yeah. Amen.
Yes.
May that just settle upon each and every one of us. Amen.
Yes. Yes, Linda. Linda says that is Emunah. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
I believe. I mean, you just do or you don't. If you don't, go do something else and do it well, but don't be hot or cold. Be hot or cold. Don't be lukewarm and be like, well, I really believe all these things, but all these things happen. Believe he's sovereign. Thank him for what's happening for you and ask him to show you how you conquer out of this and how do you bless others in the process.
Right.
And rise up, shake it off, and go be strong and make it happen. Huzzah!
That's really good. I like that. Yeah. I feel like we need a little Taylor Swift song. Shake it off, shake it off. We just need to have a little.
Everybody jump up and stand.
Time. Yeah. Let's just shake it off. That's right. I love it, Mary Catherine. Preach those big girl panties onto us.
That's
amen.
You know what? If we really do see ourselves as a discipleship program here. Yeah. We have gone from just being a little Friday Bible study to a big Friday study to a discipleship program.
Yeah.
And we really do see this, and that's in a discipleship program. If you're in the same place this year as you were last year, then we have not done our job.
We have not.
Or you haven't done your job. So,
right.
You
either or.
Speaking of that, you guys, if you're interested, we do, you do know it doesn't cost anything. You can, if you go into our website, go in and click at the top, it says the portion, click it. And then you sign up for the portion membership. Most of you have it and you don't even know it because you're whatever email you gave us to sign on here, we gave that to you for free. You can go in there and you can actually watch these videos over, but you can also watch the archived videos. So you can watch, Viera from last year and see, what was last year's, it might be old manna, I don't know, but you might get a different perspective on it. I think we have 2 years in there that we've started doing that, but yeah, you go in there and you can also listen to the word, let it just wash over you of one of the ladies here reading the word to you. That's always nice.
It's so good because it really redeems your time. You can listen to it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times in a week. You just, hit the replay, pop it in your ears. It's 15 minutes. It's when you're driving to the grocery store. It's when you're picking up your kids. It's when you can actually get that word into your, exactly. And then you can, because sometimes you don't have time to just sit down and read the word, just quiet and steady. That's okay. That's the best part. The Spirit of God is speaking, and he's alive and living, and he wants to speak to you, and he wants his word to be within you. He wants it to saturate you, and he will teach you everything that you need to know. So
we're going to see this repeated, ladies. I mean, we'll close this out. We're going to see this repeated. Yeah. It's not, I think last year we talked about, I really believe this is also deconstruction of creation, that the Father goes through the deconstruction of creation saying, Agreed. No, remember I did this. Yeah. No, remember I made this. No, remember I did this. I think that's happening here too. There's so many dimensions, and every year, maybe we'll take that on a little deeper. If we have, I need all year just to study for this Parsha, I feel like, for all the deep stuff of it. So I want to say that, your heart is strong in your will. Is it strong in your will? Is it strong in your belief systems? Are you stubborn, or have you been strengthened? I think that's the thing that Brenda and I both got that. So I know that's from the throne room today.
Yes.
Because we didn't even talk, and we both had the 2 words that we were like, out of all of those things we could have talked about in this whole Parsha, we both write down the 2 Hebrew words, kasha and hazak, and that's what we needed to focus on. And I just want to encourage you, Father, am I strengthened, hazak, in the things of you? Am I encouraged in the things, and so that my vision is of the things of you? Or have I become strengthened, or am I stubborn in my old belief systems? Am I stubborn in maybe some old religiosities that I had that are holding me? Am I stubborn in my mindset about money, about giving? What is it that's holding me? Or if you're having a problem with money, it could be that you're not giving.
Oh,
what's my mindset? I mean, Where is it, Father? He will tell you. He will tell you what's happening. And please, if your child came to you and you said, Mommy, I'm really struggling right now. And would you please help me and tell me what's holding me back? You're going to be like, yeah, I can't. I'm sorry. I'm busy right now. No,
I've got dishes to do.
Sister, you would sit down and you would help walk them through this. You would help them. And of course, what a much better Father do we have than we even tried to be, right?
Amen.
So much more. And I just know he wants to change your vision.
Yeah.
This week, he wants you to change your vision. He doesn't want you looking at the horses and chariots and trusting in all the things that you think that you're holding so tight to. He wants to say, he wants to change your vision. He wants to pull you into the tree of life. Get out of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, what you think you know.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. And the judging of it all, judging yourself, judging others. It's a waste. It's just a waste. It's a waste of time.
Right? Isn't it funny? We're going to get through this, and we'll stop into Leviticus. And the very first thing we go into Leviticus is he tells us to submit our will.
Exactly.
And walks us through submitting our will. That's the first thing he does. Oh, you want to know here? Let me give you the book on how to be a priest, a kingdom of priests. The first thing I need you to do is I need you to submit your will. I need you to submit your heart, your soul. I need you to submit those things, the things that you're being strengthened in and you're stubborn to. I need you to submit those and let me strengthen you in the things and recorrect your vision so that you can approach me. That's how you approach a king. It's by you submit your will.
Yeah. And this is the week, guys, because this week we are being challenged to look at what is our will. And if he's crying out for us to be strengthened, what's being strengthened? He wants us to undergo this change where we are submitting our will to him And then we're being strengthened in it, not where we are just being strong and stubborn. And, this is the way it's going to be. And no, he's wanting us to be changed into his image and into his likeness. And in that, and also he will strengthen us, right? So he's going to be strengthening us. Well, it's going to happen one way or the other. What's going to be strengthened? Okay.
Yeah, you're pruned if you do, or you're pruned if you don't. So just submit to the pruning. So then there's that.
Yeah. Then there's
wow,
that.
Father, thank you that you've
Abba.
just poured your life. I know that your word has gone out today, and I know women's lives will be changed, which means generations will be changed and affected because they are submitting their will to you. I know that you are going to reveal to them the things that are causing them to bow their knee to that, because they are not trusting in you, Father. And you're going to show them the little foxes or the big ones. You're going to show it to them. And I thank you for that you love us so much. You won't leave us where we are. You won't leave us in Egypt. Thank you for building this nation. Thank you for building up the women, the discipleship, the community. I thank you as you birth us this year into this season, Father, of growth in you and your word, and that we're strengthened. Hazak women, Hazak ladies. Thank you.
Be strengthened.
You. Hallelujah, ladies. As we we're going to go on out of here. We've got an after party. So for those of you who don't know, when we're done here, we shut down. But everyone who stays on Zoom, we chat for a while, sometimes a long while. We sit and giggle back and forth and talk.
Get to know each
other.
You're
always welcome to jump over if you're watching now on Facebook Live, or you can feel free to hop over with us right now and just be here for the after party. It is not recorded, so it is just us hanging out. Jump over to our website. You can go to the store. You can see how you can register for the conference. You can do that. And I really want to encourage you to consider hanging out with us. There is a 7-day free trial, but even just jumping over and being with us, because we want you to grow this year. Yeah. We're going to hold, it's self-paced. We have our calls are, no one's pushing you, but we are holding you accountable. We are wanting to be there for you. And we have all the instructors. If you have women that you look up to, they're probably one of our instructors. They have office hours. You can spend time with them. You can ask them questions. And I just want to encourage you to come over. I mean, I don't want to sound like a commercial, because I know you need to be with us. I know that you need to be with us, and that's it. So be blessed. Brenda, thanks for hanging out with me today.
Thank you.
Can't wait for another year. This is exciting.
I know. It's so good. So good.
It's so good.
Love you, ladies.
Love you guys.